Hey everyone, so this is our lecture 2 of life processes. So we were discussing about alimentary canal. Okay, so basically alimentary canal is a type of long tube which starts with mouth and ends with the anus. Okay, so mouth is basically this region we know, and anus is this region. Okay, the opening from where we excrete. Okay, waste. Then esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and are the parts of alimentary canal. Okay, alimentary canal is a long tube which starts from here and from stomach, then large intestine, small intestine, we can see it. Okay, the whole of this is known as the alimentary canal. Okay, it consists of esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine. Okay, all these are parts of the alimentary canal. Okay, then if we move on, we can see a mouth. Okay, it helps in ingestion of food. Ingestion means we have already discussed. Ingestion is the process through which we take in food. Okay, so ingestion, the mouth helps in ingestion of food. Okay, it has buccal cavity which has teeth and tongue. Teeth and tongue. So buccal cavity is mainly this region. Okay, if we can see, it is mainly this region. It has teeth and tongue. From tongue originates from here. Okay, this is teeth and tongue. Okay, I'll make it clear. Here you can see this is a buccal cavity. From here tongue originates and teeth, we know it is here. Okay, then teeth help in mastication of food. Mastication means breaking down. Teeth, as you all know, teeth help in breaking down of food. Okay, then tongue helps in tasting the food, and we know tongue, it is like this. It has some taste buds. Okay, from backside different taste buds have different kind of taste. Okay, this helps us in knowing the taste of the food. Okay, tasting the food. Tongues helps us in tasting the food. Then salivary glands produce saliva which start digestion processes. So salivary glands are presented like here below the tongue also. Okay, they release saliva whenever we eat food. They release saliva, and with the releasing of saliva our digestion process starts. Okay, then moving on, we can see teeth. Teeth are hard substances which help us to cut, shear, and masticate the food. Okay, with the help of teeth we eat. Okay, the teeth chew the food properly and break it down. With the help of teeth we can break down the food and we can eat it. Okay, it make the food into smaller particles. Okay, which is easy for stomach to digest. Then enamel. Enamel is the outermost layer of the teeth, which is the hardest part of the body. Okay, enamel is the hardest part of our body. Okay, then dentine makes the bulk of tooth and contains 70% inorganic salts. So dentine is the some substance of tooth which consists of 70% inorganic salts, and it is the bulk of the tooth. Okay, the dental pulp is the central soft part of the tooth and containing nerve endings. Okay, if we see a tooth, it is like this. Okay, from inside. So all this region we can see it is the dentine. Okay, and this region, this is the dental pulp. Okay, it is very soft and it has small nerves. It has small nerves in it. Okay, then the teeth are of four types. Okay, four types of teeth are present in humans. The first one is incisors. These are incisors. If you can see, these are the incisors. Okay, and then these incisors helps the food to cut. Okay, with the help of incisors we can cut the food. Then comes the canine, tear the food. Canines are basically this, three upside and three downside. Okay, with the help of canines we can tear and cut the food. Then molars and then premolars, both these help us to crush the food. Okay, the dental formula in the human is 2:1, 2:3. Okay, we can understand. Then 2 to that incisors, then one canine, and then two molars. Then it is, then we can understand. Then moving on, we are coming to esophagus or food pipe. The It is a 25 centimeter long muscular tube. We are talking about esophagus. Esophagus, we can see in this figure, esophagus is this. Okay, from here we can understand it is esophagus or food pipe or this both are same esophagus. Okay, it is 25 centimeter long. It has sphincter or valve opening at each end. Sphincter or valve opening means here and here it has valves, like, okay, only one direction or maybe it can be both direction. Okay, its function is to transport food and fluid. As you all know, we are taking in food through it. The food which you are eating, it goes through esophagus to reach the stomach. Okay, then the movement of food is called peristaltic movement. This is very important, you should learn the peristaltic movement. Okay, this movement is happening in the esophagus, because of which the food which we are intaking reach our stomach. Then okay, then moving on, we are coming to stomach. What is stomach? As you all know, the stomach is our stomach, it is very easy. Okay, then stomach, thick wall like structure. It has thick walls. Okay, the inner lining of stomach secretes mucus, HCl, and digestive juices. The food which we intake reaches our stomach, then there is a releasing of mucus, HCl, and digestive juices, with the help of which the food which we eat is digested. Okay, food is churned into semi-solid mass called chymes. Okay, then small intestine, the longest part of alimentary canal, about 20 feet long. Okay, then we can imagine 20 feet long is very much length. Okay, our small intestine is 20 feet long. Then our small intestine have finger like projections called villi, okay, on the inner surface. So basically, if it this is kind of our small intestine. Okay, in this we can see some finger like projections like this. These are known as villi. Okay, what is the importance of villi? Because villi helps us to take more absorption. Okay, it helps in absorption of food. It has three regions. Small intestine has three regions. Okay, the first one is duodenum, then jejunum, and ileum. It follows stomach, middle part of the small intestine, and opening into the large intestine. Okay, then moving on to large intestine. Our large intestine is about 5 feet long. Okay, this is smaller than the small intestine. It has two regions, colons and rectum. The colon is about 1.5 meter long and the rectum is about 10 centimeter long. Okay, then a small outgrowth is presented at the base of colon called an appendix. If we can see here, okay, this is the small outgrowth which you are talking about. This is known as appendix. Okay, it is such a waste, but it is there. There is no news of appendix. Okay, it is just a small outgrowth. Then rectum open outside by anus. Okay, rectum is here. This we can see, and this is anus. Okay, then peristaltis, a wave-like movement from the esophagus to the small intestine. Okay, so the food which we intake is moving throughout our alimentary canal with the process, with the movement or a process. We can say that process or movement we can define as peristaltic movement. Okay, this is very important. Okay, then digestive glands, salivary. The some of our main digestive glands which are talking about are salivary glands, okay, and gastric glands. So salivary glands produce digestive juices called saliva for the digestion of food, which we have already discussed above. Then gastric gland in stomach secrete HCl, pepsin, and mucus. Mucus is a protective layer which protect our stomach from the HCl and other acidic acids. Okay, the liver secretes bile, which is stored in gallbladder. Okay, some people do not have gallbladder. It is very difficult for them to digest very oily and that type of food. Okay, the pancreas secretes pancreatic juice, which contain enzyme like trypsin, chymotrypsin, lipase, and amylase. Okay, so then pancreas, it is a long flat gland present behind the stomach in humans. Okay, if we can see, I will show you here. So basically this is pancreas. Okay, this region is pancreas. Okay, we can see here. Now it is presented behind the stomach in humans. Okay, it is both exocrine and endocrine. I think all of you know about exocrine and endocrine nature. Okay, exocrine is a type of means that it is a type of releasing of hormones directly into the ducts. Okay, and the endocrine is directly into the bloodstream. Okay, then it secretes pancreatic juice which contain trypsin, chymotrypsin, lipase and amylase. It also secretes pancreatic amylase which help in digestion of starch, and pancreatic lipase which help in digestion of fats. Okay, so it releases the amylase and pancreatic lipase which help in digestion of fats. Okay, mouth and buccal cavity. So it is basically a flow chart. So starch, carbohydrates, then they move on. Okay, then stomach, then small intestine and etc. So this is very main. We can see a glucose, salivary amylase or pectin, and then it forms a maltose, a form of sugar. Okay, it is simple. The maltose is simpler form than glucose. Okay, with the help of saliva it is breaking down. So function of saliva we are going to learn. Functions of saliva are protects the tissue of oral cavity. Oral cavity is inside of a mouth. Okay, it is known as oral cavity. The saliva protects the tissue of oral cavity. Okay, dissolves the food and enters taste buds. If just imagine if there is no saliva, we couldn't taste anything. Okay, so saliva is very important for tasting. With the help of saliva only taste buds can taste the means what's the taste of the food which we are eating. Okay, and it also prevents microbial growth, means with the saliva works against the microbes which are growing in our mouth. Okay, then there is gastric juices like HCl, hydrochloric acid, which we know, and the pH of the HCl is very low. It is very acidic, from 1.5 to 3.5. Okay, this we can know, we have already learned in chemistry. It is very acidic type of acid, HCl. Okay, so makes food acidic. This acid makes the food acidic so that proteins can be digested easily. Okay, kills bacteria and germs. This, if the acid is too acidic, then it will kill the bacteria and germs. Okay, so activates pepsin. This HCl also activates pepsin and converts the inactive pepsinogen and prerenin into active pepsin and renin. Okay, the pepsinogen and the renins which are inactive, the HCl make them active. Okay, both pepsin and renin. Then pepsin helps in breakdown of proteins. So this is also a flow chart which we can see here. Proteins with the help of pepsin, peptones and proteases. Okay, it will break down into. Then mucus. Coming on to mucus. Mucus is a protective inner lining of stomach from the secretion of HCl. Okay, which we have already discussed. I told you mucus is a type of hormone or a type of protein which is released in stomach, which helps or prevents the stomach from the effect of acidic HCl or hydrochloric acid. Okay, then this is a diagram. What all we have discussed are in diagrams. So you can see here, these are of pancreas, this is stomach, this is liver, and this is gallbladder. These are the small intestine openings. From here small intestine will start. Okay, and this is esophagus ending, and stomach is starting, and this is esophagus ending. Okay, then coming on to liver. Liver, as most of you would know, liver is the largest gland of the body. Okay, it secretes bile juice, Bile juice helps in emulsification of fat. Emulsification of fats is a type of process, means simply down, means emulsification means they are breaking down the harder or means complex fat particles into smaller particles. Okay. Then pancreas secrete pancreatic juice, okay, which are trypsin, lipase, pancreatic amylase. Intestinal juice digests the carbohydrates, proteins and fats. Okay, the complete digestion of food substance occur in small intestine. Okay, the complete digestion of the food occurs in small intestine, which you know. Then moving on, we can see here the absorption, a movement of simple digestion food from villi of small intestine to blood and lymphates is called absorption. I already told you there are villi, the small outgrowth finger like substance in the small intestine. Okay, these are known as villi. This helps in the absorption of food to the blood and lymph is called absorption. Okay, the colon of small intestine is responsible for absorption of water and salts. In case of water and salts, the colon of small intestine is responsible, whereas rectum stores the undigested food temporarily. The undigested food which is not digested is temporarily stored in rectum. Okay, then it is through the process of excretion it is removed. Then assimilation, when absorbed food is used for certain metabolic activities, okay, or for producing energy is called assimilation. Okay, as you all know, our body require energy. So where this energy come from? This energy come from the food which we eat. So whenever this food or the nutrients which we eat is used for the process of any work or for producing energy, this is known as assimilation. Okay, then egestion, removal of undigested food in the form of feces or is called egestion. Feces, this term we can excreta or the human waste, it is known as feces. Okay, so egestion is basically a process through which the extra or leftover food which is undigested is removed out through our body. Okay, so this much for today. We will meet you in next lesson, lesson 3 of bio, life processes. Thank you.